Hello everyone, Namaskar, Jai Hind. Welcome back to another episode of National Security Life. Today's our topic is critical minerals. It is about critical minerals as coming as the new oil of national security. So today we are going to talk about something that most people actually don't normally associate it with, or they don't associate it with national security. It's not about missiles directly, it's not about missiles, it's not about nuclear weapons indirect, it's not about terrorism, even not about cyber warfare. We are going to talk about rocks, the soil, the rocks. Yes, we are going to talk about today about rocks, about minerals, about elements like lithium, cobalt, graphite, nickel, copper, dysprosium, strontium, etc. And various other rare earth elements. And I am going to make a rather provocative argument today. Like the next great resource competitions may not be that of oil. Whatever competition nowadays going because of the oil, the next global competition maybe after 20 years, after 30 years, it may not be oil. It may be about critical minerals. Oil actually powered much of the industrial and geopolitical order in 21st century, even in 20th century also. But what powers the electric vehicles, the new 21st century electric vehicles? What powers? Who powers the batteries? What powers the advanced electronics? What's composed of the advanced electronics? What powers the wind turbines? Even modern missiles, aircrafts, satellites, and precision-guided systems. What are the components of them? What are the critical things that we need? What are the rare of the rarest things that we need to build them? What powers of technologies behind our digital economy? So this is all increasingly are critical minerals. So today's question is, are critical minerals becoming the new oil of national security? That's something we need to think about. So before beginning, I would like to request our viewers kindly to switch to 1.5x for your better experience. Next, I have one announcement. If you have wish to talk to me in one-to-one meeting, I have set up a GAN meet so that you can talk with me regarding criminology, regarding national security, sociology, or anything. I can teach you, and there is a free lecture of half an hour which is called GAN meet. If you want to schedule an appointment with me, please go to the link in the description, and we will be able to talk, and if you find better we can make it further. And also please let me know, how do you feel my new avatar? Is it cool, or I should change it? I have been making a lot more avatars. I am just experimenting with you guys. Whatever you like, I will be fixing it. Anyway, at Gyanonymous, I would like to remind you that we make raw, unfiltered, and live videos. We actually don't go that much into editing or presentation, etc. Rather, we just want to go with the raw knowledge. It may feel boring for you, but we are not reels. We are not edited stuffs. We are actually unfiltered. We are live, and we are raw and full of knowledge. That's all. No blah blah. No anything else. So let's go with today's discussions. The opening question. Let's imagine that tomorrow a country tells another country, you can actually no longer buy this mineral from us. Let's say China tells any one country, maybe India, maybe South Africa, maybe any other country. If China tells that you no longer can buy this mineral from us, so what happens to that particular country? If that mineral is essential for batteries, for your defense electronics, maybe for telecommunication, maybe for your electric vehicles, maybe renewable energy infrastructure of your country, maybe for your advanced manufacturing, then you suddenly have a big problem. That is why minerals are so important. They are no longer simply a matter for geologists to experiments or to study or get knowledge of science. They are actually become a stuff of technology and ingredients for technology, and increasingly important resource for mining companies. They are becoming the matter of policy. Foreign ministers are engaging with this direction. Defense ministries are engaging in this direction. Intelligence agencies has been working towards mineral of every country. Even strategic planners, they have been making various strategies to get a better supply chain, and how to indigenously refine such minerals, such critical minerals for their country. Even national security establishments, they are all talking about this for the future. And that's the central theme of today's episode: who controls the resources behind tomorrow's technology. We are going to say that we are going to today discuss about who controls our resources that is actually going to fuel our technology that's coming up tomorrow, that's coming up next. So we are going to discuss this, starting with the simple question: what are exactly critical minerals? What's the critical minerals? Let's start with the basic question. In fact, there is not one universal global list of what is a critical mineral. Different countries actually identify minerals according to their own economic and strategic capabilities. The United States has its own critical mineral list. The European Union, the EU, has its own critical and strategic raw material framework. Australia, Canada, Japan, South Korea, and India have their own priorities. They have their own list of priorities of critical minerals. India has actually identified 30 critical minerals as strategically important. For India, there are 30 elements which are critically important. But here's the important distinction: a mineral becomes a critical not simply it is rare. One mineral can be critical not because it is rare to if there is a rare element and it's coming to be critical, it's not like that. It becomes actually critical when its economic and strategic importance is high. Some minerals cannot be rare, but they are abundant probably, but their economic and strategic importance is very high. Then they come critical mineral. If its supply chain is vulnerable, that's why a mineral can be abundant in Earth's crust but still strategically critical if its supply chain is vulnerable, and if it is of economic and strategic importance, if it is of high value economic and strategic importance. We should also distinguish critical minerals from rare earth elements. Rare earth is actually technically in chemistry a specific group of 17 elements. Not every element that we term as critical mineral is a rare earth. No, rare earth is a subgroup in the periodic table. It is from chemistry. There are particular 70 defined elements which we term in chemistry as rare earth. Not every rare earth is a critical mineral, or vice versa. So critical mineral is a broad term. It depends on economic strategy and technological advantage or technological advancement. But rare earth is a subgroup in the chemistry. So let's ask another question: why are they a national security issue? Why do critical minerals actually pose a national security issue? Let's connect the dots. Take one critical mineral like lithium. Lithium is important for rechargeable batteries. The batteries that we charge, the rechargeable batteries. These batteries are not They are not just electric cars, they are everywhere, from energy storage to electronics, even on drones, include even on portable systems, and increasingly defense technologies like on aircrafts, missiles, UAVs, etc. So lithium is used in everywhere. For another example, there is another element that is cobalt. It has application in batteries and high performance materials. Graphite, another another critical mineral, it is extremely important for battery anodes. For let's go ahead with rare earth elements, they are also important for permanent magnets like dysprosium, strontium, etc., used in electronic motors and numerous advanced technology like in robotics and in missile technology and UAVs. There are other elements like gallium, germanium, tungsten, titanium, platinum group metals. Each has different applications. So with satellites, with big communication systems, even drones, sensors, precision guided systems, and with electronic warfare. So none of these can operate in a mineral free world. We must need minerals to develop them, to develop communication, drones, sensors, satellites, radar system, missile, aircraft, sensors, precision guided systems, and everything. So the modern military is literally built on the periodic table. The whole military system actually that we see today, and it is developing, and within, let's say, 20 to 30 years, as we are going to see various new military capabilities, it is actually built on the periodic table in the chemistry, like beginning with hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, on and on and on and on, right? So modern military system is built on periodic table, and therefore these critical minerals are very much of important. If we now move ahead with the new resource geopolitics. Now let's come to geopolitics. During actually 20th century, oil shaped the global politics. You probably know it. Think about countries like Saudi Arabia, even Iraq, Iran, Russia, Venezuela, United States, even various Gulf countries from Qatar, Oman, Saudis, UAEs, and all. Oil influenced the alliances among countries. Oil influenced the war. Oil influenced the diplomacy and strategic planning. Even today, in present time, the oil is influencing, or the supply chain of oil is influencing the whole global dynamics, the whole global economy, like the war between Iran and Israel plus USA, also increasing involvement of UAE, Saudi, and other countries. The Strait of Hormuz is sometimes closed, sometimes being opened, and just for that, it is just due to the transportation of oil, due to the logistics of oil, that the economies in countries like India, the whole Asia, India, Japan, China, Philippines, the whole Asian economy, mostly Asian, the whole world economy in fact, but mostly Asian economy is being impacted by such geopolitics. So now imagine a similar competition emerging around minerals, let's say in 2050. Look at geography. Lithium, if we think from geographical availability of various critical minerals, let's begin with lithium. So for lithium, Australia is a major producer. Chile, Argentina, and central of South American countries, they constitute this called lithium triangle. On the other hand, countries like China, it's a major player in processing the whole critical minerals, the processing of whole critical mineral stuff, the whole rare earths. China actually controls 70 to 80%, even sometimes more than that, the critical mineral of the whole world. During 80s and 90s, China was actually given more opportunity for by the Western countries to set up critical mineral processing points, critical mineral refining plants in China due to its polluting in nature. The critical mineral processing and refining plants are actually very polluting in nature. They are actually not good for environment, and European countries and United States, they said that yes, okay, let China do it. Okay, they let China to build, they help China to build such processing units. But now, as China is developing, China is almost developed country, and China is actually playing the geopolitical game, the strategic game of rare earth, since it supplies 70 to 80%, maybe sometimes 90 up to 90% of certain rare earth and certain critical minerals. If we go to other elements like cobalt, the Democratic Republic of Congo is enormously important to global cobalt supply. We DPC, that is the Democratic Republic of Congo, probably people have not, I'm sorry, but people are not interested. Most of the people around the world are not interested in what's happening in Democratic Republic of Congo. There's sometimes civil war, a lot more conflict there, but people are less interested whatever happening in that African country, right? But when you know that cobalt is there, you will be interested in DPC, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. You will be very interested when you would need cobalt. You will be involved in geopolitics on around Democratic Republic of Congo. You will be knowing what's happening, why such things going on, why conflict is going on, and why there are recurring conflict in Democratic Republic of Congo, why there are civil war, resource scarcity, and wars, and even conflicts due to resources, due to minerals in Democratic Republic of Congo. You will be more interested when you will be in need of cobalt, because Democratic Republic of Congo is enormously important for the global cobalt supply. It is a powerhouse. DPC is the powerhouse of cobalt. Similarly, nickel, Indonesia, it has become a major force in nickel production and processing. Again, for rare earth elements like from dysprosium, strontium, China, they actually dominate major parts of global supply chain, particularly in processing and downstream manufacturing. China actually not all have the mining. Geographically, a lot more minerals are not found in China. They are mostly found in certain regions of Myanmar, but China actually mines there. China gets the minerals from Myanmar and get it back to mainland China, and manufactures, refines them, and do the downstream manufacturing, and that's how China controls it. Even though China extracts it from another country, let's say Myanmar, China gets it into its manufacturing process. It has become like, we did it, so it is ours, right? Similarly, graphite. In graphite manufacturing, China is also a major position in natural, especially processed battery grade graphite. So suddenly the geography of minerals, it has become the importance it got very much important in geopolitics in terms of strategic powers. Here, the most important thing is the China factor. We cannot discuss about critical minerals without discussing about China. This is not simply because China has mineral deposits. No, China sometimes having not that much of mineral deposits than some of other countries. The most important issue is processing. China's influence exceeds far beyond mining. China has the processing, refining, and downstream manufacturing capabilities. The IEA has highlighted extraordinary concentration in refining and processing. Its 2025 analysis found that China was the leading refiner of 19 to 20 strategic minerals examined. It constitutes about 70% of world supply chain. Just think about that. You don't necessarily need to own the mine or to have, you don't need to own the mines to have strategic influence. Certain minerals are more there in certain regions in Kachin province of Myanmar than in China. But Myanmar actually not having that much of strategic power. Myanmar is not having that much of geopolitical power as China, because Myanmar is not having refining and extraction capabilities. China having that. So if you can control the processing, the refining, the chemical conversion and components, as well as manufacturing, the downstream manufacturing of critical minerals, including rare earths, you are the king of geopolitics. And that is an increasingly important lesson. Resource security isn't just about what lies underground. Whatever resource you do have, it's not a big deal. What is big deal is who controls the entire value chain, and the capacity of refining, processing and downstream manufacturing is more in the value chain than what you have. Like India, we have abundance of thorium for nuclear energy, but we are yet to develop that value chain. India is one of the one of the countries, one of the geographies where more and more thorium is found. Despite that, we are unable to tap that resource. We are unable to tap that thorium into a value chain. So since we are not able to convert the thorium into a effective energy source which can give energy right away, it's still in the fancy technology. So we are away from value chain. So even though there can be some resource in your country, in your geography, you may not be leading the world. You may not be important in terms of geopolitics. If you do not have manufacturing, chemical conversion, refining, processing of capabilities. So that's the big deal. Now, where is India's vulnerability on around that? Let's bring the discussion home. India is a major industrial economy. We need minerals for defense manufacturing, as we are expanding more and more in terms of military force, also in terms of military powers. Also, we are expanding more on electronics, on automobiles, on renewable energy, even on telecom, space technology, maybe in batteries, including in EVs, electric vehicle batteries, also advanced manufacturing. So India has, as I have already told, India has identified 30 critical minerals. But here is this challenge. Having a mineral deposit, it doesn't automatically mean having a mineral security. If you have mineral deposit, it's not going to be that you are secured. If you have deposit, it doesn't mean that you are independent. If you don't have refining capabilities, if you don't have manufacturing, the downstream manufacturing capabilities, even though you may have mineral in you or in your neighbors, it doesn't matter. You are not independent. You are not a strategic power in terms of this rare earth, in terms of these critical minerals. You might have the resource underground, but what you need the exploration techniques. You need the mining technique, mining methodologies and technologies. You need benefiction. You need separation. You need refining, processing, manufacturing, and recycling capabilities. And every step can create a vulnerability. This whole value chain, this whole supply chain, from mining to just one refining product, one refining, let's say rare earth element, the whole value chain is full of vulnerability. Every point in that value chain or in that supply chain is full of vulnerabilities. So that's why India is increasingly treating critical minerals as a strategic issue. So what is India's critical mineral strategy? Whether India is focusing on that? This brings us to the new National Critical Mineral Mission, or NCMM. The National Critical Mineral Mission, or NCMM. The mission was actually adopted in January 2025 and is designed to strengthen India's critical minerals value chain from exploration and mining through processing and recovery from end of life products. So this is actually important because India is not simply saying let's find minerals. We are not just saying that let's find minerals. No, it's not like that. The objective is actually much bigger. India is trying to build, our policy is to build the entire ecosystem, from exploring to mining to processing, manufacturing, recycling, and secure the overall supply chain. India has also been actually pushing exploration and auction mechanisms. Let's say in recent example, in 2026, additional critical mineral blocks including rare earth elements or rare earth materials like graphite, tungsten, lithium, including vanadium and probably titanium, they have been put forward for exploration and for auction also. So mineral security is becoming an explicit component of India's strategic planning. So this is where, in terms of policy towards critical minerals, where we stand. So what is now, let's go with what is India's overseas mineral diplomacy. India need minerals, so how India procures minerals? We have nearby countries like Myanmar, with rich mineral deposits. So what India is doing? India cannot depend on what is available domestically, what is in India's geography, what is in India's land. India cannot just depend on that. This is actually where mineral diplomacy enters. Look at the countries like maybe Australia, Argentina, Chile, Canada, Democratic Republic of Congo, Brazil, Africa, Indonesia, and most importantly, China. So India needs relationships with countries that possesses minerals, processing capabilities, or strategic technologies. This is similar to energy diplomacy, like India had a very successful energy diplomacy in terms of solar energy. India built that International Solar Alliance, and India was doing very well and leading along with France and other countries in terms of solar energy. So this is the same. We don't simply ask like where is the oil. We didn't simply ask where did the oil. We simply asked who produced it, who transported it, who refined it, who controls the exploration technology and refining capabilities. So critical mineral diplomacy it works in much similar way like the oil and energy diplomacy. So I think I gotta pause here, or not pause, actually I gotta end this lecture here. I am, as more people are watching this lecture, I am just now starting the part 2 of this lecture, because after 30 minutes this stuff stops working. So please revisit in 1 minute, and I will be making live of part 2 of this National Security Live 11 lecture, and see you in just 2-3 minutes. Thank you for joining. Jai Hind, Bande Mataram.